Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Ron. I wanted to show you what I got going on here. I made some adjustments to the studio. As you know, I'm getting prepared to start doing drama, audio drama, and audio books. And I'm actually in the process of turning Earsource Studio into a post production facility for adding sound effects and Foley to podcasts and audiobooks. Matter of fact, I just did a podcast yesterday. I have to do the post work on it. I'll start that on Tuesday because I'm off Sunday and Monday because I'll be doing administrative stuff and I'll be doing technical stuff inside the studio. But I wanted to show you how I have things set up to do post on audio dramas and audio fictions, audio stories type situations, short stories. I don't think I'm going to do anything long because I know some people have 9-hour, 10-hour audio books. I'm not doing those. I'm talking about the 15-20 minute short story type type audio dramas and audio fictions. Now, let's come back to this. As you can see, I have a lot of space down here. So a lot of this is going to be going away just so I can make room in my floors to lay down panels that I can do like footsteps on, concrete slabs that I can do sound effects walking on concrete, walking on hardwood floors. So this floor is going to be except with the exception of the booth, I'm going to keep that. But everything else, I'm going to utilize every inch of this floor. Well, not every inch because I'm going to need walking space in between the different areas, but you get what I'm saying. Different sections of this floor is going to be for different types of walking situations. Forestry, regular sidewalk, general sidewalk, hardwood floors, carpeted floors. Yeah, I'm gonna have all of that type of stuff on these floors, on this floor here, and the floor on the other side. I have another side over there that I use for storage mainly, and then my washing and dryer and all of that stuff is over there. But I'm going to utilize that space too. And just to go in my locker box here right quick, most of my stuff that you hear is going to be done on this AT microphone. It is a Audio-Technica ES935. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of out of focus, but it's an ES935. And this is actually a really, really decent omnidirectional mic. And it can be unidirectional if I take off this stem part. But I just wanted to show you. And this I actually just thought about this mic this morning because I actually was using it for a talkback mic for the booth. But since I'm not doing that type of recording, and this mic is so sensitive, especially when I'm running it through my my SSL, I can run it through the what do they call this mic? The Listen mic compressor. I can run it through this Listen mic, and it will be super, super sensitive, and I can pick up those subtleties that you need when you're doing that type of footwork. Now, let's put that back. Let's talk about and then most of the other sound effects that I'm going to be doing. I have like 30 or 40 sound effect DVDs over here. I have every sound that I can possibly need for these particular types of recordings. Plus, I can go outside if I need some outside stuff. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that in the upcoming year. My media company is going to be doing a lot of that in this upcoming year. So So keep coming back, and then you will get release dates on those shows. Now, let's talk about the reason why I disturbed your Sunday morning for this. This is my Studio Live 2442 mixing console. This is the one that I originally had, and I had this one for a couple of months, maybe about a month or so. I bought this one, and I actually was going to get rid of it because I'm having an issue with Personas. I'm kind of upset at them, how the whole Fender thing went on. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that that's just the way business goes. So some of that tension and some of those gripes that I had with the Personas company has dissipated. Now, what I have here, and so this board, the second 2442, I bought that one just this past Friday, which would have been the 13th. I bought this board. It works great. It looks great with the exception of one knob here for talkback, but I'm not going to be using that one anyway. And if I get sick of looking at this, I'll order a knob. I see a million of them on eBay. If I get sick of looking at that stem, I'll order a knob for it. Everything on this board works. Everything works fine. As you can see, I joined them together in the middle. I got a couple of clips here, keeping them in the middle. And then I got a metal plate under the bottom screwed into both boards, keeping them steady. But I really don't need that because they're pretty heavy boards. They're not going anywhere. Now, what I have here is 48 tracks. What I have here is 48 tracks. Now, let me tell you how I have them hooked up. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Going into my Mac Mini down here. If you remember the last video, I had my Model 24 over here. And my Model 24 is over here in the corner chilling on top of this rack that I'm getting ready to throw out. Because as you can see, I finished that project with this rack that I was working on. I'm always working on Sundays and Mondays. I'm always working on stuff down in the studio. I'm not doing any projects for anybody. But anyway, I picked up this board on Friday, ran it through its courses, tested it, works fine. I got a couple of pins in the middle here, and I got a plate on the bottom keeping these two boards joined together. If I move them, they'll still be, attached to each other. But it's not going anywhere, so I don't worry about that too much. Now, going back to the Mac Mini, the FireWire from this board, this is a FireWire board. The FireWire from this board works fine with this Mac Mini. Okay, I tried to run both boards using FireWire, but FireWire just don't work like that. So what I wound up doing with my Tascam Studio Bridge here that you all have seen before, I took my Studio Bridge and I ran it into the second board. Okay, now how I have these boards talking to each other, I took the main out of the second 2442 or the second board. I took the main out and ran it into an auxiliary in on the first board. So that sends all of the signaling, all of the processing that I do on the second board or board 2, it runs into an auxiliary input on board 1. Now, inside of Studio One, I still use it. Inside of Studio One, I set it up whereas number 1 fader is number 1. Number 1 fader on the second board is 25. And I have 48 tracks playing it back. Okay, now that's a lot of routing flexibility. Each track, each parameter, everything that I do, I still have, control over everything. Now, what I did was I saw on YouTube that you can cascade both of these boards together by using your FireWire and jumping it to the second board and going inside of the systems menu here and navigating to this page here, which is page 3 on a PreSonus Classic 2442, and you can set up the linking and so forth. Like for instance, you just bring it down to FireWire link, and then you label and you name your first board one, ID 1, your FireWire link board on your first board 1, and then you label it 2 on your second board. Now, but when you do that, that takes away the conversation between the board and the computer. So what you would have to do, you would have to use, now some people have bands and then they have all of these mics that they need to plug into a large mixing console. That's how you use that. But in this particular situation, it doesn't work with any computer when you have the boards cascaded. So I'm not cascading my boards. I'm actually linking them together by using like I said, the main out on the second board, routing into the aux on the first board, and I'm excuse me, and I'm bringing it in through aux A right here. Now, think about that aux A. I can come over here and I can do all of the same processing. I can process it with everything that's going on board 1, even though I got processing going on board 2. So it's probably not going to be much processing. Now, when you hit select, that adds processing to that aux channel. I probably won't be doing any processing on the second board to the first board. I will probably do all of my processing on the second board if that makes any sense. And then all of my processing on the first board is going to be done on the first board. Now, how am I routing that to the speakers? Now, my speakers, I have them patched into the first board. The first board center section is the main section. I don't do anything over here on the center section over here. I don't do anything over here. I don't need to do anything over here. So I do everything here. This is the main fader here on the first board. This is the main fader. And then the buses, the subgroups here. You still got your subgroups here. You still got your subgroups here. But this center section here is what I do all of my functions that I need to do. Now, so I have I have the speakers coming out of my mains. Like I said, I'm using the fader here, and then I have the main speakers, and I have the speakers coming out the mains. The speakers in the back, I don't have them hooked up yet. I really don't even know if I'm going to hook them up, because if I do hook them up, it probably won't be anytime soon. I have an amp down here for them, but I really don't have a need to be hooking them up right now because I'm not doing music anymore. So I really don't need to do any type of referencing on those Pioneers in the back. Those are my HPM 40s. They're Pioneers. Look them up. They are excellent, excellent, excellent. I can't say enough about these speakers, and audiophiles know about these Pioneers. And so that's basically how I'm using two Studio Live boards in conjunction with each other. And it gives me 48 tracks. Now, not necessarily, because even though I got 48 physical tracks coming, I can actually bring in more tracks, because I can bring in signals into these subgroups or into these auxes from the back. I would have to look. Don't quote me on that. Just look at your 2442, because that can even add more channels. Let's say, for instance, if I want to plug in my stage piano or my drum machine, I can run those into an aux channel over here, or I got two auxes over here that's free, and I got my keyboard. I can run those into the stereo auxes over here, or the stereo aux over here, or I can run them into the subgroups. So it's a lot of routing flexibility with this type of setup. So I'm going to let you go, but I did just want to shoot that video. It's been a while since I posted a video because I was going through some issues, but those issues have been resolved. I decided to keep my 2442. I decided to keep my PreSonus membership. I decided to keep it. My Presonus account, I decided to keep it, and I'm going to keep using the Presonus software whenever necessary. And then I still have my Pro Tools. I have and then I just bought Mixbus. I really like Mixbus because it's all in one, but it defeats what I'm doing here on this board, because this board has everything on it that I need. All right, YouTube, I am going to let you go. Let me just let you take another look at this board. So if you decide that you want to do something like that, go ahead and give it a try. It works, and it works well. Try both of those methods. Link your board together using FireWire to cascade the board. Give you 48 channels of external mic preamps, which means you can't connect it to the computer, or use the FireWire on one board, and then on your second board use your studio bridge and run your main outs on your second board into an auxiliary on your first board. So you got some options there. I will let you go. Peace, YouTube. This is Ron. Happy Sunday.